Have you ever wondered if she's really into you? It's a question that has echoed in the minds of many, a puzzle that can be as intricate as a labyrinth. Today we dive into the realm of understanding, the signs that might indicate a woman is not interested in a romantic relationship with you. Recognizing these signs is crucial in the world of dating. It aids in avoiding the awkwardness of misinterpretation and the discomfort of miscommunication. It's about respecting her space, her decisions, and understanding that not every connection needs to lead to a romantic liaison. It's about learning to read between the lines, to understand the unspoken words, and to respect the boundaries that are set. It's about understanding that sometimes the answers lie in the subtleties. So are you ready to understand the 10 signs she's not really into you? First up, she seems to be perpetually busy. Now, we all have periods of time where our schedules are packed and chores seem to multiply like rabbits. It's a part of life. But when she's constantly invoking the busy card, that's when you may need to start reading between the lines. Consider this. When we genuinely care for someone, we naturally want to spend time with them, to get to know them better, to share experiences and create memories. So, if she's always too busy to hang out, or if your invitations are met with vague, non-committal responses, it could be a sign that she's not as invested in the relationship as you are. Of course, everyone's situation is different, and it's important to communicate openly about expectations and availability. But remember, actions often speak louder than words. If she's always busy, she might not be that into you. Secondly, she avoids physical contact. Now, physical contact is a universal language that often speaks volumes about how two people feel about each other. It's a natural way of expressing affection and interest. A pat on the back, a touch on the arm, or a simple high five. These are all subtle ways that someone might show they're into you. But what happens when she seems to be avoiding these little gestures? It could be a sign that she's not interested. Maybe she pulls away when you go in for a hug, or she avoids sitting too close to you. These could be subtle indications that she's not comfortable with physical intimacy, at least not with you. Remember, everyone has different comfort levels when it comes to physical contact. But if you notice a consistent pattern of avoidance, it might be a signal that she doesn't see the relationship in the same way you do. No hugs or touches. It could be a sign. Thirdly, she rarely initiates conversation. Now picture this. When you're truly interested in someone, you naturally want to engage with them, to know more about them, to share and to connect. This often manifests as initiating conversations, reaching out first, or asking questions. It's a clear sign of interest and engagement. However, if you find that you're always the one striking up the conversation, always the one keeping the chat alive, then it could be a sign she's not as into you as you'd like. This isn't to say that she should always be the one to initiate, but a healthy balance is key in any budding relationship. If it feels like you're pulling all the weight, it might be time to reassess. Does she reach out first? Does she ask about your day or how you're doing? Does she start any chats? If not, that's a sign. Fourth sign, she talks about other guys. Now this might seem like a no-brainer, but it's important to pay attention to. If she's constantly bringing up other men, whether they're friends, colleagues, or even celebrities, it could be a sign that she sees you more as a friend than a romantic interest. It's a subtle way of communicating that her romantic attention is elsewhere, or maybe she's trying to let you down gently by signaling her unavailability. Remember, conversations between people who are into each other often revolve around their shared interests and experiences, not third parties. And sure, everyone talks about other people from time to time, but if it's a consistent pattern, it's something to consider. So, it's not about feeling jealous or insecure, but about reading the clues she's giving you. If she's always talking about other guys, she might not be into you. Fifth sign, she doesn't introduce you to her friends. Now, this one's a bit tricky because it's not always a red flag. However, when someone is interested in you, they usually want to integrate you into their social circle. They want their friends to meet you, get to know you, and most importantly, approve of you. If she's keeping you at arm's length from her social life, it could be a sign that she's not into you. Maybe she's not ready to take that step yet. Or perhaps she doesn't see you as a potential partner. It's important to remember that every situation is unique. Maybe she's just taking her time, or her friends live far away. However, if you've been dating for a while and you're still an unknown entity to her friends, it might be time to question where you stand in her life. Remember, communication is key. If you're not meeting her friends, she might not be into you. Sixth sign, she doesn't make future plans. Now, this is a subtle but telling sign. See, when someone is interested in you, they'll naturally want to secure more time with you. They'll talk about what's coming up next weekend, or that concert next month, or even that vacation they'd love to take with you next summer. It's a sign of commitment and interest, a way of saying, I want you in my future. But if she's always vague about plans, if she's consistently non-committal about future events, it could be a sign she's not into you. She may avoid making plans altogether, or she might just always seem to be too busy. Now, of course, everyone's got their own life to live, and we all get genuinely busy sometimes. But if she never seems to want to plan anything with you, well, that's something to consider. No plans for the future, that's a sign. Seventh sign, she's not responsive to your advances. This can be a pretty clear indication that she's just not that into you. When you're interested in someone, it's natural to respond positively to their advances. A smile, a laugh, a touch, these are all signs of reciprocation. But if you're constantly met with silence, or worse, indifference, it's a strong hint that she doesn't share your feelings. We're not saying that she has to swoon every time you're around, but there should be some level of engagement. If you're the one always initiating the contact, always pushing for more, and she's just passively going along, it's a red flag. Remember, a healthy relationship is a two-way street. It's important to respect her space and her feelings. If she's not responding to your advances, it's crucial to take a step back and reflect. It might be time to reconsider your actions and approach. If she's not responding to your advances, she might not be into you. Eighth sign, she keeps conversations surface level. Let's dive into this one, shall we? When two people are genuinely interested in each other, they tend to explore deeper, more personal topics. They share their dreams, fears, and experiences. This is how connections are formed, how bonds are strengthened. But what happens when she keeps the conversation confined to the weather, the latest TV shows, or what's for dinner? It's not a crime to enjoy light-hearted banter, but if she never ventures beyond the realm of the superficial, it could be a red flag that she's not into you. You see, opening up to someone requires a certain level of comfort and trust, and if she's not willing to take that step, it might be because she doesn't see a potential romantic future with you. So if you notice that your conversations are more akin to polite chit-chat than meaningful dialogues, it might be time to reassess the situation. If she's sticking to small talk, that's a sign. Ninth sign, she doesn't show interest in your life. Now this one may seem obvious, but it's often overlooked. You see, showing genuine interest in a partner's life, hobbies, interests, even the mundane day-to-day experiences is a clear sign of affection and interest. It's about wanting to know more, wanting to be a part of their world. But what if she doesn't do this? What if she seems apathetic or indifferent to your stories or experiences? What if she doesn't ask about your day, your dreams, or your passions? Well, this could be a telltale sign. It could indicate that she's not emotionally invested in you or the relationship. It's as if your life is a book that she's not interested in reading. It's important to remember that everyone has off days, and not every conversation needs to be deep and meaningful. But a consistent lack of interest can be a red flag. If she's not interested in your life, she might not be into you. And the final sign, she tells you she's not interested. This might seem like an obvious point, but it's one that's often overlooked. In the world of relationships, direct communication is the cornerstone. If she's vocalizing her disinterest, it's crucial to honor that sentiment. It's not a game or a challenge to overcome, but a clear expression of her feelings. You see, mutual respect forms the backbone of any successful interaction, let alone a relationship. If she says she's not interested, it's not an invitation for you to try harder or a test of your persistence. It's an honest communication, a boundary that she's setting. Remember, everyone has the right to their feelings and choices. Respecting her words shows maturity, understanding, and above all, respect for her as an individual. It's disappointing, yes, but it's also a chance for you to show grace and understanding. So, if she tells you she's not interested, believe her. So there you have it, the 10 signs she's not into you. We've journeyed through the labyrinth of dating cues, from her constantly busy schedule to her reluctance to introduce you to her friends. We've dug deep into the signs, from her avoidance of physical contact to her lack of interest in your life. We've explored the subtle signals, like keeping conversations at surface level and not making future plans. And of course, we've highlighted the most blatant sign, when she tells you outright that she's not interested. Navigating relationships can be tricky, but it's important to always strive for mutual respect and understanding. If the signs are there, respect her feelings and give her space. Remember, a successful relationship is built on mutual interest and understanding, not one-sided efforts. Remember, understanding and respecting her feelings is key to any successful relationship. Until next time, keep the conversation going.